Yeah, and I sidestepped the whole issue because the bios are too long to be set.
So anyway, I'm going to ask her to send this out.
Sorry.
In case I support you.
Please feel free to go and refresh your coffee, get a little snack, but we're not going to pause for you to do that, okay? So if you need to use the restroom, go for it. We're going to keep going so that we get a chance to hear from everybody. So I'll invite you to sit back down. Come on, people now. Sit next to each other.
All right, we're not breaking. That's Judy over there. I think we have a few yard signs left. We're asking for a $15 donation for the yard signs. If we run out of signs, there's a sign-up list. We're going to get more. So if you don't get one today, just...
Oh yeah, here's the photos that you're saying. There's the flyer. He gave me $100 bill. Hey, Chris. Thanks for coming. Hi, Chris. How are you? It's good. Your best.
They're being slammed by ice to the ground, and I know that they could be getting concussions. So that's.
So I'm Reverend Fundraising. I'm the pastor of First Congregational Church. You are in one of the settings of First Congregational Church. You are most welcome here. We share this campus with our sister congregation, Congregation Share Shalom, and it is a joy to have you all here. I am acting as Lisa's voice today. Well, one of Lisa's voices today. So restrooms, again, I'll say male identifying restrooms are back there, female up here. Please turn your cell phones off, or at least to silence. I don't know if it's appropriate for you to record things or not. It's okay if you want to record speakers, but just make sure your ringer's off, okay? So I have some very important news to share with you that I heard on the way over. I don't always turn on NPR, but this morning I did. Today is the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. To the left, let's do the time warp again. Right? Because doesn't it kind of feel like we're in a loop? Yes. I thought so. So I'm going to read you a poem in a second that someone brought to me, and I can't stop reading it. It just blew me away. But I want us to think for a second. One of the invitations of the piece is to consider what essential gift we have to bring to the revolution. What is the essential gift that you bring to the revolution? And that's kind of what today is about. It's about taking stock of what's already in place and thinking about the things that need to be in place. and unifying as a group, body to body, face to face, voice to voice. That's how this revolution is going to happen, right? So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath, put your feet on the ground. Anyone who knows me knows that everything starts that way. So literally just feeling your feet on the earth. We're living in such a space of hyperactivity. Our brains are always searching for safety or threat. And right now, we're perceiving a lot of threat. So I hope as you put your feet deep in the ground, and I'm going to show you a really simple position to reset your vagus nerve. You bring your hand just under your belly button, and your other hand up here to your heart chakra. This is called hand to heart, hand to home. And if we breathe here for a second, we send signals to our brain that we are safe. And that helps us to be better listeners. It helps us to have feelings about our thoughts and thoughts about our feelings, right? And to do this work together. So just breathe here for a minute and really use this as you go throughout these days when you just feel like your head's about to explode. Just bring your hand to heart and hand to home. So here's the poem. It's by a Jewish author, a feminist, a rebel, a radical. She's in her 80s now. Her name is Aurora Levine Morales. It's called The Summons. Last night I dreamt 10,000 grandmothers from 1,200 corners of the earth walked out into the gap, one breath deep, between the bullet and the flesh, between the bomb and the family. They told me we cannot wait for governments, amen? There are no peacekeepers boarding planes. There are no leaders who dare to say every life is precious. So it will have to be us. They said we will cup our hands around each heart. We will sing the earth's song, the song of water, a song so beautiful that vengeance will turn to weeping. The mourners will embrace, the grief replace every impulse toward harm. 10,000 is not enough, they said. So we have sent this dream like a flock of doves into a sleeping world. Wake up, put on your shoes. You who are hearing this, I am bringing bandages and a bag of scented guavas from my tree. I think I remember the tune. Meet me at the corner. Let's go. So, as we get started this morning, there are lots of wonderful things to hear from wonderful people. Some of whom, most of whom I think are seated up here. And I'm going to invite Lisa to tell us what's next. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning.
Yeah. So it's funny because half the audience is up here, so it's not as full as I thought it was going to be. Kathy, you're supposed to be here. And you know, the elephant in the room is that I'm in a wheelchair, and you know, as luck has it, I get to have broken both of my knees at the same time. So surgery next week, and then I will sort of be out of commission for about 6 weeks. So, you know, it's giving me a good view of what it feels like to be in a wheelchair. It's, you know, it's humbling. Okay, Curran, where's Curran? Thank you.
You told her she had to be up there. So
No,
she got up.
I get sitting down up with us.
Here you go. Chair.
No.
Is there another chair?
Let's sit.
Kathy, you get to sit down for now. That was confusing. We're sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So Curran, thank you so much for stepping in when Curran found out I wasn't at full capacity, which was really a great big relief. I want to thank John, our our social media guy, for being here, as well as Chris Wall, who helps us record everything that we record. Also, the board members, we've got myself and Martine and Matthew are the board members that are here today. The rest of the board members had other things that they had to do today. So thank you all thank you board members for being here. And then we have our honorary board members. And then we also have our advisory council members here, Jeff and Marcia. And we have other advisory council members that couldn't be here. While planning for this meeting, it was really interesting. I could see how clearly and how far that we've come in the past 3 years. We've come together pretty quickly and pretty solidly. I mean, who actually knew when we started Wake Up Sonoma that we would be engaged in an all-out battle against fascism? I mean, we thought there was something not right, and we were raising the alarm, but really, I didn't think we'd be here. So I'm still in a state of shock. But the Wake Up Sonoma team is very grateful for this community, who all of you and so many more continue to show up. We know we will continue to become stronger, stand in greater solidarity against fascism now and more than ever now. The felon-in-chief, I think you know who I'm talking about, just issued a presidential memorandum authorizing government-wide investigations into nonprofits like this one, activists and their donors and funders, claiming to be trying to rein in domestic terrorism. That's how he's doing it. But, as much as I have taken difference with Comey over the years, I want to just, Joni, my wife, which, by the way, I should have thanked.
I was going to do that if you didn't.
Joni, I would be nothing without Joni. Comey recently said this: "My family and I have decided to stand up to the Trump administration because we are not going to live our lives on our knees. And we recommend you don't either."
Yeah.
So I have to say, I like that, and that's why we're not going to let this intimidate us into silence. We can't back down. Those are just scare tactics to silence we the people, and we know it won't work. We must continue to support not just this nonprofit, but the nonprofits in our community who make our community strong and who give back and keep our community running in countless ways, here especially in Sonoma. So this isn't just a saying. To me, we are stronger together. So I'm going to just move on to explain what we're doing here today. As I just said, there are countless nonprofits in our community, and they're all doing a lot of great work. We at Wake Up Sonoma are not trying to duplicate any of that work. We have already strong organizations that do immigrant support, that do so many other things that we need right now. We're not trying to duplicate that. We're trying to augment what other communities or what other organizations are doing. And today you'll see an example of what we have been working on sort of behind the scenes to do that, to augment what other organizations are doing. One thing, a word of caution that I'd like to put out there and just start planting the seed is that it's getting really hard to figure out if we have people in our online spaces that are enemy or friend. So we need to start moving to more secure platforms. John is we already have Blue Sky going, but John is buffing it up for us, right, John? So we're already there, so you can start visiting us there. Wake Up Sonoma at Blue Sky, right, John? We also invite everyone who wants to be in an organizing space with us to download Signal. Because Signal is really a more secure way for us to communicate when we're organizing. We're also going to be looking into Slack, if any of you have heard Slack. So it's just time for us to do that. I get very nervous now online, on a Facebook page. So, we're just being smart. The context and purpose of this meeting has 3 main objectives. First, to bring community together, like we are here today, and we want to do that more regularly. We see each other all the time online, as I was just saying, but can we really say what we want to say online? Are there things that we put online that are misunderstood, or we get into tense moments with one another? When really, if we just gather as a community, we can just heart to heart, head to head, and just really be together. I think also because it is harder to control who we're talking to online, this is a lot safer for us. So also I just think, I'm hoping that this will become a space that when we come together here, today is very structured. Because we want you to know what we have been doing since March of 2025, when we had that 400 in-person town hall, and we created something like 8 different teams on that day. People signed up for a bunch of stuff, and there has been a lot of work going on, and we wanted you to see that. But in the future, what we're going to do is we're going to come together and have community conversations. One thing that Martine is working on putting together is sort of like a poetry slam or open mic, those kind of things, where it's like, this has been a hard week. How are you feeling about it? And then there's a lot of joy in my heart. Let's talk about that too. So, really let's connect to one another again instead of being in these online spaces. And then, the community conversations, we're going to talk about that towards the end. Curran will walk us through that process when we get there. So Curran, handing it back to you.
All right, so on your seats, you have 3 prizes. One is a card that looks like this. Can you show me that everybody has one? Does anybody need one? You got it. So as we're listening and being present with each other today, if you could fill that out for us, that would be great. And you also have a blank card, which goes back to the question, what are the gifts that you bring to the revolution? So we'll ask you to write down what it is that you have top of mind. That'll happen a little bit later, and then you have a couple of dots where you'll be able to rank your own ideas. Okay, so just for now, don't worry about the dots and the blank one. Go ahead and fill out your contact information. We'll collect it all up at the end. Sound good?
I may have spaced out for a second, but the card that has, your name and contact and all that, that's for you to express which community conversation you want to do. Okay. And the dots are for afterwards for you to rank importance. I just want to make that distinction.
Okay, because I got it wrong, actually. So it's important to admit that you're wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I love you. What can I do to make it better? Y'all know that? That's how you make an apology. I was wrong. I love you. What can I do to make it better, right? We should practice that as community leaders now. Yeah. So first, our teams that are currently operating are going to give us a little report out. They are the DEIA Project, Pride, Inform and Educate, and Health and Medical Impacts and Strategies. So
protest and action is first, though.
Protest and action is first. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I love you. What can I do? All right, let's hear from Martine, Linda, and Lisa, and
Hi. Just to make things really confusing, I think these were for people to fill out for the action teams.
Yeah. And
This is for the community conversation.
yeah.
Okay, got it. So it's like, okay, so what's this card for? So the one that's pre-filled out, as you're listening to us talking, the different teams talking, maybe one of those teams will really resonate with you, or maybe bunches of them. But so on the one that's pre-filled out, put your name and put the group that you're interested in, and maybe also talking about the gifts you'd like to give to that. Like, oh, I would like to do this, or I would like to do that within the group. And then blank what would be for the conversations to like put down your ideas for what we can do in the future. So, hi, I'm Melinda Kelly.
Hi, Martin Gobin.
And we are two of a big group of people that have been working on the protest recently. The group that we've been working with is, everyone raise their hand that's been involved in the protest from our group, leading it. Yep, that's you guys, and then there's quite a few more that weren't able to make it today. But I also really want to acknowledge that it includes all of you, because you've been showing up for those in one way or another. So I think we've had an amazing turnout. So I just want to acknowledge that to start with. So prior to this protest group forming, we also had Wake Up Sonoma's been doing some of this activity before. We've been working with Indivisible and some of the Sonoma Valley Democratic Club as well. But I'm just going to say, so since I've been involved since April, we've done the hands-off protest in the plaza. 400 people attended. We had speakers, we had music, we had fun, we had press coverage, and we were part of a national movement of over 1,200 events, and more than 600,000 people registered. So to think about the scale that we're connected in that way, both nationally and globally. There was some really fun stuff internationally as well. On June 14th, 3,000 people in Sonoma Valley attended the No Kings Day, which was a huge showing of folks, and that was in 3 places. It was in the Springs, it was in Maxwell Village, and it was in the Plaza. And the signs were awesome, you guys. You did a beautiful job, such creative ones. And that was part of an event that had, the numbers move around, but 2 to 5 million people across the country with over 2,100 events. And then on July 17th, we had the Good Trouble protest with about 500 people attending, with speakers, passion, action. Karim was there as well, like part of a national movement with over 1,600 events, and hundreds of thousands attending. And then, of course, there's the Friday protest group, which a lot of you attend that as well. We support that as wherever we can. So I'm going to hand it over to Martin to talk about some of the future plans and how you can get involved. What are some of the things? It takes a village to do those protests. So join our village.
Yeah, sometimes I think, oh, what difference does it make if I show up at some event in a small town? It's like a blip in the big sphere of what's going on. But I think numbers matter and exposure matters, and in every nook and cranny of this country. So I think showing up is an action that can be taken and can really help with the frustration and the anger that we're all probably feeling all the time. So show up, get your friends and family to show up. It matters. That being said, on the 18th of October is the second No Kings protest day nationwide, and Wake Up Sonoma and the Democrats, Sonoma Democrats are sponsoring this event, this protest. We, rather than doing speakers, we want to mix it up this time. So rather than doing speakers, we are planning a sort of street theater performance of sorts that people can watch and cheer on, but also we will need volunteers to help participate. So, and musicians, if there's anybody with instruments or know people with instruments, that would be great. Send them my way.
We'll talk more about that then.
Yeah, it's sort of flash mobby, but yeah, we'll get more into that. And then we plan on continuing this as a monthly meeting. So this is the first of hopefully consistent monthly meetings. And as Lisa said, where it won't be so much like we talk, we listen, but more, as we get more on the same page with each other as a group, as a community, then we can have more dialogue. We'll have already been, gotten to the same page, and so now we're all informed, and we can just have more dialogue, more communication. What else? We need to build on our action teams. It may seem from outside that Wake Up Sonoma is this big operating machinery of people. It's really not. It's really a large handful of people that put in a lot of time and energy, and so we need more help. We could use more help. So in any way that people can step up is greatly appreciated.
Well, the listing needs in the front of the podium. So, just to give you an idea, so for the organizing team, it can be anywhere from 8 to 14 maybe hours a month, depending on the frequency of the events. We need help with team meetings, with trainings, with organizing, with coordinating day of activities, social media and graphics, monitors that we need at the events, and the street team, like flyer distribution, things like that. So if you're not available for the protest day itself, you can help with a lot of these things in the front end. And then others, Martine said, flash mobs and other creative ideas for the protests as well. So we'll talk more about all that coming up later in the meeting. So that's it.
The next one is going to be a project that we're doing as part of our DEIA program. And this wonderful person comes all the way over from Petaluma to help us out.
Hi, my name is Kathy Andrew, and as Lisa just said, I live in Petaluma, but my partner and I are over here a lot. We've been to many demonstrations over here. And so when I saw that the group that was going to be promoting DEIA in Sonoma Valley needed help, it felt like a kind of natural match for me. So this project is a collaboration between Wake Up Sonoma and Artiscape. And we're hoping to create a welcoming spaces throughout Sonoma Valley in Sonoma Valley businesses. At Wake Up Sonoma, we felt it was important to highlight inclusivity by collaborating with Artiscape, who, with the youth in the community, will design a visual symbol that can be displayed in business windows. They're doing a series of workshops, and these workshops are called Art for Inclusion. Once that is finished, the businesses then will opt in and demonstrate dedication to inclusive practices and will display their artwork as a sign of the welcoming space. So it will hopefully will become a recognisable symbol for people once they're, while they're shopping. Oh, that's a space that is inclusive. Yes, I want to shop there. So when the group first talked about what inclusivity meant, we realised we actually all had different versions of what it meant. So we sort of talked at length about what our definition should be, and we came to something we all felt good about. Inclusion is the practice of accommodating and empowering people who often face discrimination and exclusion due to identity. And so we hope that this project will help build safe environments where everyone feels welcome and celebrates our collective differences, which I feel makes us whole. So in the workshops at Artiscape, there've already been a couple of them. The next one is on October the 2nd. And once the workshops are finished, then we will form a team that will look at the artwork that the youth have promoted that will hopefully be the most impactful one. And then these pieces will also display a recognisable emblem that graphic designer Matt Long is designing based on our mission. So this will present a recognisable message of welcoming and safe spaces throughout Sonoma Valley. But we do still need help. We're going to launch this project in the new year, and that will be a combination of the community and businesses and Artiscape and Wake Up Sonoma meeting together, and we hope to display all the artwork that was produced in the workshops. And businesses themselves will then will have an opportunity to see what it would be like to opt in. So we'll need volunteers to help roll out the process, set up the art show and so on and so forth. But most importantly, the last thing is we are very aware that our representation is somewhat limited for a project that taps inclusiveness. We do currently have representatives from the queer, Latino and straight white communities, but we welcome input from more diverse groups. So if you know someone, or if you yourself are interested in weighing in on this, please write that on your card and we'll reach out to you. Thank you so much.
Our newest member of the board, Matthew Long, or we call him Matt. He calls himself Matt. And he and I are here to talk about pride.
Yes. Yes, my name is Matthew Long, and right up on the mic. There we go. So we accomplished a lot this year with the help of Wake Up Sonoma joining Sonoma Valley Pride and really taking on a lot of the organization. And we had our first ever large weekend celebration, our first ever dance party at Buena Vista. It was beautiful. And the performances by queer allies and various transcendents. It was a beautiful festival. But we couldn't have done it without Wake Up Sonoma. We couldn't have done it without volunteers and the overwhelming support from the community. We had allies, families, children show up. We had our LGBT residents show up. 15 plus community organizations who joined, including Mentoring Alliance, Spark, Artiscape, and of course Wake Up Sonoma. So one of the wonderful things that happened this year that, the city of Sonoma always supports us. They honored us with our first ever proclamation that June would be Pride Month in Sonoma.
Nice.
And they always have allowed us to raise the Pride flag, but they've also lit the square with Pride colors, permitted a larger celebration, and gave us a wonderful grant this year to help us. So, one of the things that we are focused on is preparing for next year. We are actively seeking fundraising. So we'll be raising funds with grants and through the support of the community. If you want to get involved, you can donate to Wake Up Sonoma, who is our fiscal agent. And do you want to talk about some of the things that are coming up?
Well, since we got an introduction to Rocky Horror Picture Show, we are doing a fundraiser in November, on November 9th. And we're going to have the Sebastiano Theater and do a sort of, it's still forming, but maybe kind of a sing-along, dress-up, fun night as a fundraiser for Sonoma Valley Pride. So put that on your calendar. It's still forming. And we're hoping to do drag bingo. We just want to bring community joy and fun into Sonoma Valley Pride activities. So that's really what it is. Yeah.
And as we heard today, this year is the 50th anniversary.
And just Matt and Gary Saperstein have joined our board as our LGBTQ component of Wake Up Sonoma. So we will be building out on that part of our mission for LGBTQ advocacy.
Yeah. We are looking for people to join us if you want to help shape Sonoma Pride next year. We're looking to build out our planning. So reach out to Wake Up Sonoma, go onto the Sonoma Valley Pride website.
Or put it on your card.
Or put it on your card. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Mike Miley, who is doing something that not very many people have ever done before for Wake Up Sonoma, and I'll let him explain.
Great, it's great to be here.
So I'm Mike Miley. I've been a supporter of Wake Up Sonoma pretty much since its earliest days, and I'm here to tell you about the Inform and Educate team, and I'm a member of that team. So who are we? The Inform and Educate team serves as the research, analysis, and educational outreach arm of Wake Up Sonoma. We're dedicated to providing the community with the knowledge, tools, and resources necessary to understand all the complex ideological, sociological, and political issues affecting Sonoma Valley and beyond. We work to transform critical information to actionable intelligence to empower progressive activism and foster informed civic engagement. So our team functions in the following. So how do we do this? We are doing in-depth thematic research targeting national, state, and local levels. For example, we delve into the rise of fascism and Christian nationalism in America, seen in the Trump administration and in the MAGA movement. We're developing reframing analysis and strategies. One vehicle will be vision action briefs, which define progressive values for specific areas of interest, the reactionary threats to these values, the actions we can take to resist these threats, and the resources that can be used to do so. We create and hope to extend on a variety of oral, video, and written documents and communications, which I'll enumerate later. So our team is in the process of reformulating itself. We want to add new members. Our current team includes myself, Elizabeth Sandel, Michael Browning, and our newest member, Gil Magdalene, and we're all under the guidance of Wake Up Sonoma's core team, the board of directors, and she is many years in for us. So I have bios which I can hand out to you about our members, and we'll get that later. So some of the work we've done, oops, I'm running out of time. Okay, I'm going to skip what we've done, and I'm going to talk about our future plans because we're in the formulation phase, the reformulation phase. So we want to do community activist stories and interviews. We want to do new thematic essays on critical topics. We want to do PowerPoint presentations to succinctly summarize critical issues. We want to do AI-assisted book reviews and videos. And we want to do other materials to support Wake Up Sonoma's educational activities, including teach-ins, forums, debates, and films. So, we're basically sort of the information and education arm of Wake Up Sonoma. So as we're in the new phase of developing new goals, roles, deliverables, and the development process, we're looking for new members. And if you fill out your card and tell us that you're interested in the Inform and Educate team, I will be around to get that from you. Thank you so much.
So, hello everyone. I'm Elizabeth Sandel, aka Betsy, and I am the lead for the Healthcare Community Action Team. That's our official name. And I moved to Sonoma about 2 years ago, so I'm new here. And luckily I was able to recruit we have 6 people on our action team. We're looking for more. They've been extremely helpful in educating me about healthcare. I'm a physician specializing in physical medicine and rehabilitation. I worked in the Kaiser system for 15 years, and before that in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So anyway, our mission statement is, the mission of the Healthcare Community Action Team is to inform and empower Sonoma Valley residents by providing timely information in healthcare. And because I also am on the Inform and Educate Committee, there's a great liaison there for our action team. So what are the challenges? Well, the devastating cuts, need I say anything more, and cuts across the board. Certainly there are going to be increased costs in healthcare, and there's all the circulating misinformation, disinformation, anti-science, activities and communication, as we know, coming from the government. So most people aren't really feeling the effects yet. So one of the issues is getting people to understand what's coming. And I think young people, looking around, young people are really not aware of what's coming down for them too. It isn't all about Medicaid and Medicare and the VA. Okay? It's about all of us are going to be affected by what's coming down. So what have we been doing? Well, of course, we've been in local protests targeting threats to healthcare. We've also been tracking the public health vending machine efforts in Sonoma County. We want to get a public health vending machine here. Researching topics online at our meeting, online and also at our meetings together. I attended a meeting in Santa Rosa that was extremely helpful, and one of the things we'd like to do is plan to have an educational panel here in Sonoma, specifically on the same topic: what's happening in healthcare and what's down the road. So I'm very interested in working with people who want to write. I'm a writer. I was in academic medicine, and I love to write. And so we need writers on different topics. This will be material for the website. Again, we want to organize educational events, and I think we want to reach out too. I need to meet some people down here who are in healthcare. So there's lots to do, and I'm really eager to have some new people join us. We have been meeting, by the way, together, not online. Usually at the library.
Good job.
And people wanted that. They didn't know. They wanted that. So anyway, let me know. I'll be circulating. Thank you.
I think the statistic this week that with this new cut, 400 elders in our community, so just picture maybe you know one of them, will lose access to CalFresh. That is $1 million worth of income not coming into our community. So it is here, it is upon us, and thank you so much for all those speakers who are really paying attention. So next, we have team reports from the core teams. I will warn you, we are already 7 minutes over time, which is cutting into our bagel time. So try to keep your comments brief so that everybody has a chance to speak. So let's, Lisa.
It's me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do that. All right, I'm just here to give you a report on the Matson status. So I'm not going to go over the history, but I just wanted to let you know that our recent effort is if Matson ends up somehow being pardoned by this evil administration because he has connections to this evil administration, or just because in some way he slips through the cracks and charges are dropped against him. We feel it's important for the state to bring charges against. And also Stacy and also Tim. So we have been working with in tangent with the investor group. There are over 300 investors that are, most of them elderly or disabled, that have lost or are going to lose everything. And so they are devastated. So we have been working with them to, bring this to, continue to try to bring this to justice. We had a meeting with Congressman Thompson, and we asked for his support to contact Attorney General Rob Bonta to consider bringing state charges. Mike Thompson did write that letter. There's a copy of it over on the information table over there. Also, there's a copy of the letter that we wrote to Mike Thompson asking him to do that. And then he met with us, and then, so there's all kinds of letters. We also asked him to write a letter to, for the support of Carla Rodriguez, who is our district attorney. And so we wrote Carla Rodriguez a letter and asked her for the same support. And her response was this: happy to meet with your team and discuss the allegations. you know, that what we're really trying to push is elder financial abuse, wire fraud, and money laundering. Elder financial abuse charges were not brought by the federal government. So we really need to make sure that happens at the state level. She's willing to meet with us and talk about it more, and what she is really encouraging us to do is encourage people, elders or their families, to file charges against the Matsons in the elder abuse system, you know, within the county. So that's our next phase, is to get people aware, and as she said, time is of the essence to do that. So we're trying to encourage that. We will meet with Carla Rodriguez probably after my surgery. But we would also like to ask you, yourselves, to write letters to Carla Rodriguez and talk to her about why you think this is an important thing for us to continue to push forward. If you are interested in writing a letter, we had posted the address and everything. It's up on our website. So that's where we are. There was also, you might have seen the article in the paper yesterday that Phil Barber did about a deeper dive into the primary hard money lender, Socotra, and they are starting to look deeper into whether or not crimes were committed by Socotra. So,
Socotra lent money to Madison, right?
right, they're the hard money lender, which we don't have time to really go into all the details of that. But the last ask I have is, if anyone knows a prosecutor or a former prosecutor who can work with us on this, please reach out to me.
Great. Elaine is up next of the table team.
Elaine, Elizabeth, do you want to come up to you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm Elaine. This is my good friend Elizabeth, and we have been doing tabling at various events like this, and we weren't able to do as many evenings at the farmers market just because of manpower. So anyone that would like to get involved in that, it's not, brain science. It's just showing up and carrying things, talking to people. It's fun. People start chatting and want to know what we're doing, so we try to inform them and make a good impression and encourage people to join us. And anything else?
It's really fun. It's one of the more social and entertaining ways you can get involved. If you are an extrovert and you love talking to people about this, you love hearing what the community has to say, people come up and you just get all sorts of insight into where people are at. People will come up and tell you stories about, I rented a house and now my family has to move because it was owned by Madison. It's really a fun and beautiful thing, and if you get to go to the farmer's market and hang out behind a table, you get to set up early and then go get a good parking spot. So if you are the sort of person who has a lot to say and is wanting to tell strangers about political things, this is a job.
So if you've got some extra time, please join us. We have a good time. Thank you.
Looks like we're really trying to pick up time here. My name is Jeff Cryer. I believe I can say that my wife Marcia and I are charter members of the advisory committee for Wake Up Sonoma. And so your first question is, what is an advisory committee? And what we are is, our role is to provide advice and a sounding board for new ideas and goals for the organization, and to provide expertise for the board that they may be lacking in themselves, and to support the organization through advocacy, program evaluation, and fundraising events. Essentially, we just provide advice. We don't have to make any decisions. We just talk about it, right? And but we feel that as an advisory group, the wider the areas of expertise and the deeper the knowledge, the better we're going to be able to serve the board of directors. We have a small group right now. They're good and they're effective, but we would really appreciate more people with expertise that perhaps we don't have. We're not strong on fundraising, to name one thing. We meet on Zoom last Friday of every month. I think it's around 1:30. And if you want to join the group, please put that down on the card, because again, we need as much exposure as we can get. And Lisa also, I know we're running out of time, but Lisa very kindly allowed me to speak about this other group that I'm involved with called End World Hunger. It's a small nonprofit organization here in Sonoma, and what we do is we provide funding for food projects in third world countries, projects that are self-sustaining. So we help people grow their own food in a sustaining way. And we're celebrating World Food Day, which is on the 16th of October from 5:30 to 8 right here in Burlingame Hall. And emissions free. There will be ethnic food and from some of the countries we served. I think from the last meeting, it looks like it's going to be Peru, Guatemala, and Rwanda. And then we'll have beer and wine available. Those will be subject to a donation for food tickets. And we'll also have music and videos and a discussion of what we do and who we serve and so forth. So there are tables on the information, there are cards on the information table if you want to pick one up. And I also put down a little binder in case those happily go away, where you can write your email, and I'll be glad to send you a flyer. And lastly, I just wanted to say to the health people that Marcia and I I'm a CPA. I am projected that we're going to get a tax savings from Trump's big, beautiful bill, and we have committed to giving that money to a group serving the people who are going to lose their health insurance. And if somebody has a good idea of who that group should be, let me know.
Hi everybody, I'm Julia Epstein, and I'm the last but not least, we have to pay for everything. Otherwise known as the Fund Development Team, and our job is to ensure that Wake Up has long-term sustainability as an organization that leads social justice work in the Sonoma Valley. So we envision a world in which Wake Up has paid staff and software and management and program systems so that everything can run smoothly. And there can be slightly less dependence on volunteers. So my background after being a college literature professor for 25 years is working in social justice nonprofits as a development and communications director. And after I retired as a grant writing and media relations consultant. And I'm really pleased about to introduce two new team members in the Fund Development Group who aren't able to be here today, but they're an extraordinary addition to our team. One is Jeff Jackson, who is an acclaimed playwright, and he's worked as a grant maker, a grant writer, and an organizational effective consultant with various foundations and nonprofits, and as a community relations manager and finance director with Kaiser. And he's also lived and worked the better part of the last 20 years in Latin America. And the other one is Daniel Sonnenfeld, who's recently retired from a storied career leading technology and accessibility projects at Apple, Oracle, and Salesforce. And he also has a long history of deaf, disability, and LGBTQ+ activism as a board member and volunteer. And they're also terrific human beings and fun to work with. So what we've been doing, we have, thanks to Daniel, we have acquired Salesforce licenses so we can begin regularizing how we track donations and grants. We've created a grants calendar and tracking systems for funder prospects. We've streamlined general operating and project budgets for grant applications, and we're actively applying for grants to augment Wake Up's institutional support. Most recently, we submitted a letter of intent to the Horizons Foundation. We'll hear in about a week if we're invited to submit a full proposal for a $25,000 grant. And we're also in the process of creating a 5-year fundraising plan to guide our activities and grow Wake Up Sonoma's capacity. So we need people. We'd be happy to have people who are interested in planning house parties, if you like to throw parties, if you have a house to do that in, and to help with things like phonathons to thank donors and coordinate major donor cultivation and retention. And last, I'm supposed to stop, but I want to say this last thing. When I was a college professor, nobody ever asked me, how did you get to, do that job? That's what I did. But when I started working in fundraising, how did you end up doing that? Was one of the big questions. And, you don't find 5-year-old little kids saying, I want to be a fundraiser. Doesn't happen. So what I wanted to say is that you're not actually asking people for money if you do fundraising. You're offering people an opportunity to participate in work that they can't do on their own, that is being done on their own.
Okay, so we also have some teams that are sort of, if you went to the March 25th town hall, you see we had a couple of teams that sort of started to take off and they floundered, so we really want to put them back together. One of the areas in this, I wanted to emphasize this, is Immigrant Support, is that we are not trying to take the place of La Luz or Sonoma Immigrant Services or North Bay Rapid Response Network. We are in constant contact with them and we want to help and support them. So Martine is our liaison for that group.
Stole some of my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
Just kidding. Hi, everyone. First, I just want to really quickly say that thank you all for turning up. I mean, I wish there'd be more people here. I feel like our people just really don't care that we're in a fascist state. Like, we really are. We're there. We're there. So thank you for being here. Please don't give up. Please keep rallying. Please keep showing up. I really, it means the world. To me and to, I'm sure, many. All right, so does everyone know what the North Bay Rapid Response Network is? Okay, great, so I don't need to summarize that. But, no? Okay, good, okay. So their mission, the North Bay Rapid Response Network, NBRRN, their mission is to mobilize an emergency response network, serve as witnesses to ICE actions, uphold the rights of immigrants, and provide services to impacted families. They have a 24-hour hotline to dispatch trained legal observers when there are supposed ICE activities or suspected ICE activities. They provide legal defense, which is tricky. There are not a lot of immigrant lawyers in our county. I think there's 2. There's one.
Oh, in Sonoma Valley.
In the valley, there's one. And their last thing is for them, they want to help accompaniment with impacted families following a raid. Kids who's, one parent gets abducted and the other has to go to work. Who's taking those kids to school? Who's making them school lunches? Who's picking them up from school? So they want to provide those services. They could use legal observers, and they very much need bilingual dispatchers to answer the hotline, which is digital. You don't have to be at a physical location picking up the phone. It forwards right to your mobile phone, if you can do that, if you're bilingual. The legal observer training, I did it. It's super easy. It's one night. It's very fulfilling. And you're not looking to obstruct ICE activity. You're literally going you learn your rights and how to do it. You learn all the proper procedure to just be a legal observer to document what's happening. Sonoma Immigrant Services is working with La Luz and the Sonoma Valley Collaborative to develop a response plan in the event of a large-scale ICE raid. They will need an organization to take lead on managing communications if that happens, And it's still a project in development, but maybe wake up, maybe we can step in and help with our volunteers for that communication network. As Lisa said, we're not trying to duplicate efforts, but just support those that are already being done. So far, there's been no widespread ICE enforcement in our county, just targeted individuals that have been apprehended, but no sweep-type actions. This could change, especially with the recent influx of funding from HR 1, also known as the Big Beautiful Bill, or as I call it, the Big Bombshell Bill. Lastly, I just want to really quickly plug that they are, I wish I had the QR code, but you can come see me afterwards and I can forward it to you. They are sponsoring a screening of a film on Wednesday, the 29th of the last Wednesday of October at Sebastiani at 6 p.m. of a film called Las Abogadas, which translates as The Lady Lawyers. And this movie centers around brave women attorneys standing up to insurmountable odds. The narrative of Las Abogadas centers around these diverse women and their clients. It's heartbreaking and heartwarming refugee stories unfolding on screen. So I plan to be there. I hope you do too, because all the money they raise from that screening is going to benefit immigrant services. All right.
Wow, I hope you all are feeling rejuvenated by hearing what's going on, hearing the passion, and also hearing that we're partnering, Wake Up Sonoma is partnering alongside other organizations, and World Hunger is an amazing organization. Of course, the work La Luz, and it's not about a competition, right? And so we're joining together. So we get to have a little stretch break.
How about we have these last two and then we have a stretch break?
Okay.
Which is, I'm just going to get 2 minutes, put them together.
Okay.
Civic engagement is something that we didn't actually work as of our last meeting. And what that means is we need people to be observers for public school board meetings and for city council meetings. We need people to come and use the tool that the Sonoma County Democrats put together to be a legal observer, to be observers of that process. Take that information, report it to the community, or other organizations that are impacted. So we desperately need that, and we also need somebody to coordinate volunteers if anybody has organizational skills. Right now, that's pretty much me. So I need help. So those are the two things that I wanted to stick in there before I stretch break.
Okay, awesome. So let's do this. Since we want to keep hearing from everyone, I'm just going to invite you to stand and just reach up to the sky if you can. Reach behind you. If you bump into somebody, say thank you. Okay. And please feel free to go and refresh your coffee, get a little snack, but we're not going to pause for you to do that. Okay? So if you need to use the restroom, go for it. We're going to keep going so that we get a chance to hear from everybody. So I'll invite you to sit back down. Come on, people now. Sit next to your brother.
All right, we're not breaking because otherwise we won't ever get back to where we are.
That's it. So good job stretching.
Everybody sit.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Like have a seat.
Like have a seat. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not done yet, you guys.
The next team reports are actions and strategies that are upcoming. So Lisa is going to tell you a little bit about that and what's coming up. So if you're talking, please save that conversation for later. And let's keep going.
It was down by the fire.
Okay. Beth, do I hear your voice over there? Okay, I just wanted to point out a couple of things that we're working on. If you see these cards in the back, these are called Are You a Resistor cards. If you go to our website, it will tell you all about what this resistor program does. There are people that are in the audience today that have these little resistor pins on. You can get one in the back at our table. This is something that was in Poland in the 1980s during the period of martial law there. where individuals use these to recognize one another in sort of a stealth way as resistors. And so we have an operation that's going on in Sonoma. We need people to join that operation to make these resistors and to become part. Yeah, here's one of them. You can see there's a whole bowl of them back there. And then we're also hoping to take this nationwide. So this is already being taken up in Oklahoma and New York. And we hope that this is going to be, get out there wider. We have a whole program we put together around it. We also have, talking about fun, one of our supporters is putting on this fundraiser for us. It's called Slay or Ween. It's an 80s dance party at Blue Carneros, and all the donations will go to Wake Up Sonoma for this. And then if you want to get information about our new kings, there's a postcard back there. We invite you to take these cards that are back there and distribute them. Give them, don't take them if you're not going to distribute them, but do as much as you can to distribute them. Okay. Now I think we have Tom. Benton, we're very lucky to have Tom from Indivisible.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. And thanks to all of you for all that you're doing. I'm with Indivisible Sonoma County. We are an ally organization. Our mission is to repel fascism, but also to build a stronger, more inclusive, just democracy to replace it. We are currently having kind of an explosion volunteer activity, a lot of new teams forming this year, doing things like holding community conversations to inform on issues like healthcare and democracy, doing things like doing a film series in Rialto and Sebastopol. We've got groups that are meeting in person in Sebastopol and Santa Rosa regularly. A lot of team activity. We're also working on finalizing kind of a strategic framework, and I wanted to mention that to you because I think it overlaps with or allies us with the work that you're doing. We're looking at 4 key strategic areas that we need to be focused on. We can't do all of these things ourselves, but we feel like we need to be focused on them as well as the movement. One is to build a united front. We can't do it alone. We need to do it in tandem with each other. We need to do that with other organizations, with other elements of society, with other demographics, all the way across, because we need to turn society against this regime, society as a whole against this regime. We need to grow community power because the regime is withdrawing, it's using the resources we give it to withdraw those resources from us and to turn them against us. We have to have ways to sustain ourselves in the face of that, so we feel that growing community power is really essential. We need to find ways to inspire defections for those who are supporting ICE, supporting the regime, whether they're actively doing that, whether they're passively doing that, or whether they're supporting it by just being inactive. We need to inspire people to move more towards our side. And finally, we need to develop ways to be resilient in the face of threats of violence. We need to be able to withstand the violence that's being directed at us. We need to be able to withstand it and move forward. And there are kind of 3 key areas that we're doing this in right now. One is to be better at showing and telling a better story than the other side is telling. It's really important for people to understand the way that we're looking at the world, not just the details of it, but just the frame of it. We, of course, are protesting, not only doing that, but celebrating when there are wins or when there are things that are being done right. And we're going to need to move towards being able to withdraw our consent. We're going to need to learn how to become ungovernable. Because our overall task is to shift legitimacy towards us, to say that what you've broken your contract with us. Yes. You're supposed to be able to govern with our consent. You no longer have it because you've broken our consent, or broken that contract. We're going to need to shift legitimacy from this regime to the people. And we're going to need to do that in order to shift the power from the regime to the people.
So much we did it with Jimmy Kimmel. Let's celebrate the win.
Well, hi everybody.
Hi.
I guess they saved the best for last. Maybe I don't know, but thank you all for sticking this out. I'm Beth Hadley. I know a lot of you. I'm the president of the Sonoma Valley Democrats, and I'm also a member. Thank you. I'm also a member of Wake Up Sonoma. I'm also part of the. I'm very happy to be part of the protest and action team, and thank Lisa and everybody for welcoming me and the Democrats. The main thing we're focusing on right now, you've probably heard, is yes on Proposition 50, which is the Election Response Rigging Act, the Election Rigging Response Act. As you know, Trump and the Republicans are making a power grab by rigging the congressional districts in Texas and other states. And we've seen what Trump can do. As they've said, he's cut our health care, he's hurt the economy with tariffs, and he's using the military against our own people. So California is trying to fight back with the special election on November 4th by temporarily redrawing the lines of our California congressional districts. Now, I, like many of you, would rather have the nonpartisan committees doing this, but we need to step up and take a stand. So we have a table over there. That's Judy over there. I think we have a few yard signs left. We're asking for a $15 donation for the yard signs. If we run out of signs, there's a sign-up list. We're going to get more. So if you don't get one today, just put your name down and we will get you one within about a week. Also, we're having canvassing on October 4th. So again, on our sign-up sheet, if you're interested in canvassing, please put your name and your email address and I will contact you. Also, we're doing tabling in front of Sonoma Market and probably the Friday Farmers Market and maybe other places. So as Elaine said, tabling is fun, and she's been helping us with our table also. And anybody can do it, it's just a 2-hour shift. So again, sign up at the table there and you can table with us. So just one more thing. I'm going to say Proposition 50, and you're going to say yes. Proposition 50.
Yes!
Proposition 50.
Yes!
Proposition 50.
Yes!
Thank you, everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pamela Harder, and I'm a retired person who's a full-time activist, and I work across the county. And some of my passions are the immigrant community. And right now, the top priority, first, second, third, is yes on 50. And please, all of you, become very familiar with the talking points because Arnold Schwarzenegger is telling us it's bad. So just everybody has to focus on Prop 50 or we're dead in the water. So one of the things I'm working on that will probably not launch in a hard way until after the holidays is a wonderful concept that was developed by Indivisible National. And the idea is that we are going to be reaching out to businesses in our local communities and asking if they will show support for our immigrant communities by posting signage. There's other steps to that because a business might have a back area where they have workers. They have the right to say, this is private property, you can't enter. So that's one of the things I'm working on. If you want to learn more about that, it's Signs of Solidarity is the name of it. And I have a little table over there if anyone's interested in learning more. The other thing I was asked to do, which is a draft, is we're going to put together a bunch of organizations in our community, Sonoma County, where hopefully we'll send this out to you or put it online on the website, where you can find all the different organizations where you can get involved. And I'm super thrilled about the creative aspect and the opportunities we have. I'm an artist, and there's so many opportunities for all of us. We all have special gifts, and I just urge all of you, don't let the Republic die. We have to fight, fight, fight. Thank you very much.
body worker, massage therapist here in the Valley for 25 years. I lead a women's circle once a month. In March, I signed up for the well-being committee and ended up being one of the co-leaders. And what we kind of discovered was that in this valley, we have lots and lots of ways that we can take care of ourselves in nature, in community. And there's just resources, the botanical gardens, our ecology center, just lots of ways. And so what we kind of decided was we don't want to try to, invent what's already there. And it turned out that I'm a big advocate of loving yourself. Yeah. If you can't come from that place first, then you're not really going to be able to help others. And so I work with this with my clients, and so this was one of the things that we decided. Well, it turned out that I was already involved with the creation of the former CEO of the hospital had come up with this idea to have a place where anyone could go and find the resources that you need or want to find joy and find a place to connect with others. So it's called The Hub, and it's on harmonyhealinghouse.com. And it looks like a circle, and there's different categories: earth, connection, self, community. And under that, you can join free, and you can, if you have a service that you think others would enjoy being part of. We already have over 100 members, and it's just taken off, and we envision that this is going to spread across the country. That anywhere you go, if you're on traveling, you can go and look at under the hub and find resources in community. So I hope you'll check it out. Thank you for listening to me, and have a wonderful day. Okay, friends, so I know some of you are a little antsy, maybe you have to go soon, but don't go yet! Because the most important thing is that we talk together. And that's a little bit of what we're going to do next. So, Lisa.
Okay, we've been talking about what are these community conversations. We realized after all of this kind of big dump of information, we wouldn't really have time to have a community conversation today. But there's a list of community conversation ideas on those. There's 2 sets of posters. The one poster in the middle are the needs that we just went over, so it's just there for you to refer to. The other 2 sets of posters up there, I'm going to go over each one and tell you just a tidbit about it, and then we're going to ask you to go and vote as to which ones you think are the most important to you. Okay, first one is immigrant support and allyship. What does that mean? The labor movement, inviting different kinds of labor speakers here. We've had great labor speakers in the past, but there's much more to talk about there. Strategic resistance and non-compliance. I just recently heard from someone that some of these people that are in the big movement behind these protests are asking people to commit to the idea that they will not participate in non-compliance. And I want you to know that that's not our stance at all. So I didn't even know that was in there as a core value. But ways that we as a community can talk about and activate non-compliance. Develop street theater troupe, freedom singers, visibility brigade, open mic nights, those kinds of things. We'd like to hear what you want. The impact of global and national human rights issues on a local community. I'm very aware in our community, there's a lot of tension within our community around the Jewish community and the Palestinian community around Gaza. We need to talk about that. We need to have a conversation about that and how we're holding that and what do we do to mend that bridge within our own community? How do we engage with school board and city council members? I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen a lot of them around some of these activities. So I think we need to figure out how to get them involved. Mutual aid, which is a very extremely important thing that organizations are involved with. If you've noticed, every time we do a protest, we have some activity of mutual aid involved. And that means bringing supplies for homeless action services. With our next protest, we're asking people to bring clothing for fish. So it's just depending on which organization. How do we do that? And then finally, neighborhood meetings, dinners, walks, other ways to connect with people in your neighborhood. So those are the ideas that we've just sort of loosely brainstormed. There is another poster, where you could, if you have an idea, you could write it down now. Oh, it's back there. You can write it down. If something comes up to your mind now, just go ahead and jot it on there. Otherwise, you have a blank card on your chair. If you have an idea for a mutual conversation, put it on that card and then drop it in the basket on the way out. Maybe you want to explain the blue dot? Okay. So you have blue dots and yellow dots. So that list of the posters that are up there, the blue dot is your highest priority for a conversation. The yellow dot is your second highest. So just put the dot next to the ones that you feel is the highest and the second highest. So we're going to have this next part just be mingle. Write your ideas on your cards, write your ideas on the poster, put your dots up. And again, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I love all of you guys so much, and thanks for showing up again and again for Wake Up Sonoma.
And then this the part that had the printed material that's to put, if you're interested in any of those action teams, and you can just leave it on your seat, we'll pick them up later. And then, well, they can, either way. Yeah, they go in the basket back there, or we'll gather them, or you can hand it to me. The other thing is I wanted to remind you to pick up a flyer for the October 18th protest. It has 3 QR codes on it, because we're looking for 3 different things. One is to just simply to register to attend. The other one is to sign up for being a monitor. And then the third one is the third one street? It's a street theater, it's the flash mob. So just a reminder, there's 3 QRs, so you can grab one of these as you go out. And that's it. Go dot. Oh, no.
So, okay. I just want to invite you to, real quick, turn to your neighbor and say thank you for being here. All right, can I have a quick closing poem for you? Ready? It's called Small Kindnesses. You can be quiet for just a second. This is Demusha Lamaris. She's a local author from the North Bay. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people will pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers will say bless you when someone sneezes. A leftover from the bubonic plague. What we're really saying is please don't die. And how sometimes when you spill your lemons from the grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly we don't want to harm one another. We want to be handed a hot cup of coffee and say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey when she sets down our bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup to let us pass. So far, we have so little of each other now. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true indwelling of the holy, these fleeting temples we made together when we say, here, have my seat. No, you go first. I like your hat. Have a great